don't know which dresses those are. I've only been here like 5 hours at this point. I don't know. Hi guys, it's Jillian. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a story that I've never actually told before. So this is the story of the time that I worked at a bridal shop for 6 hours and then left and never looked back. So let's get into it. At the beginning of last summer, I decided that I wanted a summer job before I started teaching in the fall. So I racked my brain trying to figure out what I could do, what would be a fun summer job. And I decided that because I loved trying on wedding dresses so much and just talking with my bridal consultants about it, I could be a pretty good bridal consultant. So I looked at bridal shops in my area at the time. I found one, I sent them a little email with my resume and I just said, hey, I would love to work at your bridal shop. Please let me know if you have any openings. But given the fact that I'm impatient, after a day of not hearing anything, I was like, I'm just gonna go in with my resume. So I went into this bridal shop, I had my resume in hand, and I ended up talking to the owner and I was like, hi, my name is Jillian, here's my resume, I would love to work here. And she's like, okay, why don't you come back tomorrow? We'll do a little trial run and we'll see how you do and we'll see how we get along. And I was like, okay, yeah, sounds great. I left, went home, and I came back the next day. So the next day rolls around, I walk in, I say hi, and the first thing she does is she shows me around the store, shows me where everything is, and she shows me where all the wedding dresses are. And the wedding dresses are organized by style. So you have ball gowns, you have A-lines, you have mermaid, and then you have like a trunk show sort of pieces that are only in the store for a certain amount of time. So after she gives me the tour, she says, okay, we have 3 clients today. We're gonna go ahead and send them a quick message, letting them know how excited we are to see them today. And I was like, I love a heartfelt message, so I was all for it. So we go over, she opens up her computer, she types in ChatGPT and says, please write a heartfelt message to Ashley about how excited we are for her appointment today. And ChatGPT spit something out and I was like, okay, so we're not gonna write like a 2-sentence thing about how excited we are from our heart, it's gonna be from a ChatGPT heart. Okay, that's fine. Great. So after we send a message to each of the 3 brides from ChatGPT, we then go and we look up how to order wedding dresses and she shows me how to do that. Now here's the thing. She doesn't have a rhyme or reason on how to order the dresses because she shows me 4 different ways all at once and it made absolutely no sense. But keep in mind, I've been here like 45 minutes, so I'm like, you know, maybe I'm just not understanding what's going on. She says, okay, the first bride is about to be here, so what you're going to do is you're just going to be my assistant. You are going to help me out and just hold things and just see how it works. And I said, okay, because again, I've never done this before. So I said, absolutely, let's do it. So first bride comes in, she's early mid-30s, and this owner helps her out. I see how it goes and it seems like a lot of fun. I was like, okay, I think I could do this. So first bride ends up leaving and the owner says, hey, it seems like you might have gotten a handle on this. Do you want to try helping the next bride yourself? And I said, absolutely. And she said, okay, I'll be close nearby. If you need anything, just let me know. And I said, okay. So the next bride comes in and she's around my age. And so we hit it off like that. I'm asking her how she got engaged, the ring, the venue, all these things. And then I'm like, okay, let's get down to it. What do you want in a dress? And she kind of thinks and she shows me a few inspiration photos. She's like, I want very simple, lace is fine. I don't like anything super blingy. I don't want ball gown. And I'm like, okay, so simple, maybe A-line. So I kind of talked to her about it and I said, what is something that you could not live without in this dress? Like, what is something you absolutely want? And she says, I love sleeves. I want a cap sleeve or a long sleeve. I just want sleeves. And before I could say anything, the owner goes, I don't know what is with girls these days and not wanting to show their arms. I just don't get it. Walks away. I'm looking at this bride. This bride is looking at me and it's really awkward. And I'm like, I don't know what to say. But again, my customer service skills kick in. And if anyone has seen my wedding dress, it has sleeves. Both of them did. So I look at this girl and I'm like, girl, we will find something for you. My dress had sleeves, so I absolutely understand where you're coming from. Those are gorgeous. You could tell she went from uncomfortable to a little bit more relaxed after I said that. So anyway, I say, wait right here. Let me go look with the owner for some dresses for you. She says, okay. The owner and I, we go look for some dresses and we pull one. I put her in it and oh my goodness, this girl was gorgeous in this dress. Like absolutely stunning. Okay, this dress had long sleeves covered in lace. It was very plain and simple, but it was so pretty. And I was like, what do you think? And she loved it. And she stayed in it for a while. The only thing she didn't like was the sleeves were a little too much. There was a little bit too much lace and she wanted it to be toned down a little bit. And I said, okay, that's fine. Let's find something else for you. So the next thing we put her in didn't have long sleeves, but it had this really thick kind of off the shoulder, kind of covering part of her shoulder. But when she walked out in it, I could tell she was uncomfortable because her hand was here kind of covering her chest because this was a lower neckline. Okay, so she comes out and I was like, so what do you think? And she goes, it's pretty, but the neckline is way too low. I'm not super comfortable with the low neckline. And I said, absolutely understand, no problem. And she asked me about altering it. Now keep in mind, it had kind of like a sweetheart neckline, but it had some lace peeking out underneath it. And I was thinking that if we got it altered and the neckline went higher, it might change the look of the dress. And she liked the look of the dress, she just didn't like the neckline. So she asked me about alterations. I, told her what I just told you guys. But keep in mind, I've been here like 3 hours. I don't know maybe what I'm talking about. So the owner comes over and she's like, how's everything going? And I say, she's wondering about alterations. And the owner's like, okay, what are you wanting to alter? And the bride says, oh, the neckline, but would that change the look of the dress? And the owner goes, well, you're altering the dress, so yeah. And then just stares at this bride and doesn't say anything else. And the bride's like, okay, yeah. She looks at me and she's like, I don't think I'm a fan of this dress, but thank you so much. And I was like, absolutely. She goes back in the dressing room. You can tell this bride is just visibly uncomfortable, but whatever. I'm just trying to make this bride happy. Like, that's all I'm trying to do. So owner walks away. She ends up calling me and she's like, can I try on the dress one more time? The first dress, so I could take some pictures in it. I said, absolutely. Get her back in the first dress. Again, this first dress was gorgeous on her. She was gorgeous in both. The first dress, stunning. So after we took a few pictures of her in the dress, she went back in the dressing room, got changed, came back out. I gave her the little information card about the dress, and then she left. Okay? Okay. Third bride comes in and she wants a big ball gown sort of dress. Now keep in mind, the owner is helping this woman. Again, I'm just more of the assistant at this point. So I'm helping the owner with picking out dresses and things like that. But the owner is also telling me to take these dresses and go hang them back up. Now keep in mind, like I said at the beginning, they are organized by style, but there's also a section that has trunk showpieces that only stay in the store for a certain amount of time. I don't know which dresses those are. I've only been here like 5 hours at this point. I don't know. So I go and I put 2 dresses away, and in front of this bride, the owner comes over to me and she's like, this dress doesn't go here, and starts talking to me in a very condescending tone. And I took it very well. I was like, okay, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't realize. I went and I put the dresses in the right spot and we moved on. Oh, something I forgot to mention, these dresses were not priced at all on the floor. So I had no idea what price the dress was. So I had to keep asking the owner, and I could tell she was getting annoyed with me because I didn't know the price of the dresses because they weren't on the dress. And that's very important when a client comes in with a certain budget. Anyway, I digress. But in my brain, I was like, if you talk to me in a condescending tone, that doesn't go well for me. Like in the moment, I'm going to be very nice, I'm going to be respectful, and I'm going to just move on. But in my brain, I'm like, absolutely not. So the minute she talked to me like that, plus the 2 other things she said, I was like, no. So anyway, I helped the owner clean up. She tells me that I did a great job, that I was great, that I did a good job with this, and this, blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, thank you so much for the opportunity. And she says, yep, I'll let you know in a few days when you can come back in and we can get the paperwork started because I'd really like you to work here. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I left on a good note. I leave and I go home. I text her a few days later before she had texted me, and I said, hey, thank you so much for the opportunity, letting me come into your store and help you with the clients. But unfortunately, this is just not going to work out for me. Thank you so much. I did not tell her why it was not going to work out. I just didn't want to have that confrontation. I just kind of left it at that. I did end up looking up her reviews, and I looked up the lowest reviews, and she has probably 8 or 9 reviews talking about how she said some things that were just out of pocket. And I'm thinking, it's not just a me thing. It's other people who are experiencing this exact same thing. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting. I remember that story today and I was like, I should totally tell that. So there is that. But anyway, that is it. Honestly, I would work in another bridal shop as long as it wasn't with that specific owner, just because it was so much fun seeing how women lit up when they came in and tried on a dress that they felt beautiful in. It was so much fun. But I just hadn't told that story, and I thought I would tell you guys because I love those types of stories. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! Why? And again, oh my gosh. Okay, sorry, drink break. It's good. Sippy, sippy.